Hi everyone, this is a no-card psychic reading for the relationship between you and another person. If you stay tuned for within the next 24 hours, I'll be posting another synastry video, which is about two signs and how they interact together. And I'll be posting another tarot reading, and then I will be taking a 2-day break. Yeah, thank you so much for tuning in. So, I'm just gonna tune to the energy. This is about a relationship between you and another person, and you can interpret it as you will. I'm gonna tune into the energy of each person. I feel like the first person is like, when they met you, they were like, okay, so I think this is actually a romantic dynamic here. So when they met you, it was like they were catching their breath because they were attracted to you. I just got like some weird breathing thing, that's why I said that. But also, one of you may have like a breathing issue, like asthma, or like some sort of breathing problem. So that may be like a marker for knowing this is your reading. I'm seeing an image of a hawk. A hawk can be about our greater calling and our higher purpose. So I think that you and this person helped each other to define what that was for each other. Not just career, but life path and life purpose. I'm sensing a lot of insecurity about personal appearance from both people for different reasons. And I think that became like sort of a juncture point where it was like hard to connect because there was so much insecurity on both sides. And there was a lot of, I also think one person may have like said negative, like negged the other. And the other person was like, maybe you were like, instead of saying, please don't say that, in the moment, you just sort of took it and let this person say sort of mean things to you. I don't know why you did that. I think it has to do with some old stuff, probably from your life. I'm seeing a diamond. I think that, oh, it makes me think of the movie Blood Diamond. I don't even think I watched the whole thing because it was kind of whatever. Anyway, but I think that there may be an element of, there's something here that in this relationship that is precious and special, but there's a darkness to how that specialness was accomplished. Like maybe it's an affair, or like one person's married and they were thinking of having an affair with you. And I also sense that this person sees you in a very high light, like that you may think that they don't, like they think that you're like a piece of trash or something. They don't like you. That's not true. They've been focusing on their own healing journey, and that required not being near you. And I'm seeing like a chain. I think that there was some sort of commitment here that was emotional and spiritual, that there, maybe you want to do some cord cutting visualizations, because I'm feeling that the relationship is over and it's become sort of a negative dynamic, because I think that this was actually a mirror of an old relationship, maybe from your upbringing, where you were kind of bullied by someone. But I think that this person, it's almost like a tick, like a nervous tick of, like they were bullied, so they don't know how to be not guarded with others, and that comes off as sort of saying negative things. And at a certain point, you had to shield yourself from that. I think that the person who's watching, you have a lot of issues with your heart chakra that you might want to work on. That I think that you either let too much in or close it off. I heard this really interesting phrase the other day because I had a wound from an accident. I had to go to the urgent care. And she said, well, this kind of wound, you don't want to stitch it because it needs to be open to heal. And I think that that's where you're at in your life, the person watching. You are in a place where your wounds are just open and you're vulnerable and you're out and you're really feeling things, and you're looking at yourself as this imperfect person and your imperfection of your appearance, which was brought out by this other person, and you're like, I still love myself and see value. And that's taken a lot of healing, because I think at one point you may have been in a very dark place where you had some self-hate, which is a very dark vibration. I think that if I'm seeing someone looking back at old pictures, there may have been a relationship in the past that was detrimental for a number of years here, that affected how you saw this new person. Because I think that this other person that you recently interacted with was coming from a place of love, but they just were not in a place in their life where they could express it positively. I think it's really valuable to spend time meditating, because I think that another thing that happened here in this dynamic is the miscommunication wasn't just like people saying crummy things when they're upset and dysregulated. There was also a miscommunication of you struggle to say what's in your heart. And that is a bigger issue here that I want you to look into. That's why I mentioned the heart chakra. Because I think there's some deep wounding there and some shielding. And I want you to look in the mirror every morning, and I want you to say to yourself, I love you. It might be really hard and uncomfortable. Look at yourself, wrinkles and all. However, whatever age you are, look at yourself. Whatever scars or, the face changes over time. Maybe you've gotten less baby fat in your face and you're high cheekbones now, or I don't know. I was just talking about someone looking at old pictures, because I feel that you're looking at the past and you're idealizing it as a better time, and you're also judging those pictures from the past, not liking yourself, not only what you look like, but where you were in your life. And that's okay, but the thing is, we have to see that healing happens in layers, like an onion, which is, I know that's sort of a trite thing, but I want to bring it up here. Instead of looking at the past and judging where we're at, or even judging where we are now, which may not be where we want to be, we want to recognize that the layers of the onion are being peeled away to get to the inner truth of healing, which may take a different timeline than we want. And I think that this person that you interacted with that it didn't work out with, and this older relationship, which keeps coming up in my readings, like an older relationship and then a more recent interaction with someone. Maybe it was like a rebound dating after a long relationship. I think that you just weren't really ready yet to open your heart, and it was too much too soon, and then it made you look at yourself in this very critical, negative way. And let's take a step back from that and offer some self-love and self-compassion. And that's the reading.